Take two. Trevs Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. It's too sweet. Anyway, continuing with retired numbers. And I have to say, I'm surprised I haven't done this one sooner. As I remember when I decided I wanted to start doing retired numbers, this was one of the first ones I started writing. Of course, then I decided to do easier ones first, and it got lost away. But we're here nonetheless. And he was also one of my favorite players growing up in the 90s. But all that aside, we're going to talk about the first number retired in Anaheim. That belonging to the Finnish Flash, number 8, Teemu Selanne. Let's do it. So Selanne's career in Anaheim began on February 6th, 1996, when he was traded to the Anaheim Ducks from the Winnipeg Jets. These Winnipeg Jets. Along with Mark Chouinard and a 4th-round pick in the 1996 NHL entry draft for Chad Kilger, Oleg Tverdovsky, and a 3rd-round pick in the 1996 draft. Now, initially, upon hearing this, Selanne wasn't happy at all, and mostly about the way he was told about the trade, being he was traded during practice and left Winnipeg Arena without saying a word. Now, at the time of the trade, Selanne had already scored 72 points. After a brief adjustment period, managed to put up another 36 points in 28 games with the Mighty Ducks, giving a total of 108 points for the 95-96 season. And unfortunately, even though he was paired with Paul Kariya, the Mighty Ducks still couldn't reach the playoffs. And that would all change for the 96-97 season, as not only was it a productive full season with the Mighty Ducks, where he played in all 82 games, Selanne also put up 51 goals and 58 assists for 109 points. And Selanne also got to represent the Mighty Ducks for the first time at the 97 All-Star Game. On top of all that, behind Selanne and Paul Kariya, the Mighty Ducks managed to secure their first trip to the playoffs, where they managed to make it all the way to the conference semifinals before being eliminated by the Detroit Red Wings, as such things normally happened in the late 90s. In 11 playoff games, Selanne would put up a career-best 7 goals to go with 3 assists for 10 points. And for his season, the way he produced for himself anyway, Selanne was named to the NHL's first All-Star team for the first time with the Mighty Ducks, and also for the second and last time in his career he'd get such a nomination. The 97-98 season saw Selanne start the season off being named team captain, while Paul Kariya and Mighty Ducks were working on a contract. But that's okay, Kariya would come back and Selanne would give him the C back, but it was a good thing to see Selanne have on his sweater, even if it was only briefly. Selanne would also score his 500th career point on January 12, 1998, with an assist against the Los Angeles Kings. I also saw Selanne play in his 5th career All-Star game, his 2nd with the Mighty Ducks. What made this one special was after scoring a hat-trick during the game, Selanne was named All-Star Game MVP, making him the first European in the game's 46-year history to do so. So there's that. Selanne would score 86 points in 73 games this season, including a leading 52 goals, which he tied for the league lead with Washington's Peter Bondra. And the Mighty Ducks didn't make the playoffs, but the season wasn't all bad for Selanne, as he was named to the NHL's 2nd All-Star team for the first time. And he was also a finalist for the Hart Memorial Trophy, which is awarded to league MVP. He was also a runner-up for the Lady Byng Memorial Trophy, which is awarded to the league's most gentlemanly player. So quite a good season, I would say. The 1998-99 season saw Selanne put up 107 points in 75 games, including a league-leading 47 goals and a career-best 60 assists, while putting up 4 points in 4 playoff games. It was also this season that Selanne was awarded the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy as its inaugural winner, which is awarded annually to the player who scores the most goals in the regular season. He was also named to the NHL's 2nd NHL All-Star team for the 2nd and last time in his career. It's always nice to be the inaugural winner of something. For the 99-2000 season, Selanne scored 85 points in 79 games, while the Ducks failed to make the playoffs. So going into 2000-2001, there's a sense of getting back to the winning track, but unfortunately the sense of did not translate to on-ice productivity, as by the time Selanne played in the 61st game of the season, the Mighty Ducks weren't so mighty, sitting in last place in the Western Conference. So on March 5th, 2001, Anaheim traded Selanne to San Jose for Jeff Friesen, Steve Shields, and a second-round pick in the 2003 NHL entry draft. At the time, Selanne had led the team with 59 points. But don't worry, our story doesn't end here. So after spending some time in Northern California, and spending one season in Colorado, and sitting out the big one to rest and recover from surgeries and injuries, Selanne came back to Anaheim for the 05-06 season, having signed as a free agent. However, he did so with the number 13. That was only because Sandis Ozolnich was already wearing the number 8 in Anaheim. So Selanne being Selanne, he was okay with that. Keep in mind, Selanne had worn 13 since he was in Winnipeg. But don't worry, this does change. It was during this season, on January 30th, 2006, again against the LA Kings, that Selanne scored his 1,000th career point. Now, Selanne finished this season with the team leading 90 points in 80 games, including a team leading 40 goals. The Mighty Ducks also made the playoffs, going as far as the Western Conference Finals before being eliminated, and in the 16 playoff games he played, Selanne put up 14 points. The season was so impressive that he was awarded the Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy, which is given to the player who best demonstrates perseverance and dedication to the game of hockey. For 06-07, change was the name of the game in Anaheim, as the Ducks went to being just known as the Ducks instead of the Mighty Ducks, but Selanne did go back to his number 8. Needless to say, though, there was still high expectations for the Ducks in 06-07. But we'll touch on that shortly. November 22nd, 2006, Selanne scored goal number 500 in his career against his former team, the Colorado Avalanche. And in doing so, he became the 36th player in league history, but also the second Finnish player, the other being Jari Kurri, who ironically is his childhood hero. On December 31st, 2006, he played in his 1,000th career game. He also played in his last All-Star game, his 5th with the Ducks, and his 10th overall. If that wasn't enough, on February 18th, 2007, he scored his 301st goal as a Duck to break Paul Kariya's franchise record. Selanne would finish the season leading the team in scoring with 94 points, including 48 goals in a full 82 games. The Ducks, to the surprise of absolutely no one, were dominant in the playoffs, making it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, defeating Ottawa in 5 for the Cup. In the 21 playoff games played, Selanne had a career-high 15 points. The games played, points as well as assists, as there was 10 of them, were all career highs. After winning the Cup, Selanne seriously gave retirement some serious thought, and hadn't re-signed with the Ducks until January 28, 2008. But in his third game back, Selanne scored his 670th point as a Duck, breaking the franchise record for points in a career. The Selanne back, the Ducks won 20 of the 26 games Selanne came back for, with Selanne adding 23 points. The playoffs, though, the Ducks were quickly out in the first 4, with Selanne putting up 4 points in 6 games. The 08-09 season saw Selanne play in 65 games, and this was only due to an injury, but Selanne did manage to play in career game number 1100, becoming the 6th European to score 1,200 career points, and finished the season with 54 points, while adding 6 points in 13 playoff games. It was during the playoffs that Selanne would play his 100th career playoff game. During the 09-10 season, Selanne would become the 18th player in league history to score 600 goals when he scored it on March 21st, 2010 against Colorado. And not long after that, on April 2nd, 2010, against Vancouver, he would score his 602nd goal of his career, which put him ahead of Jari Kurri as the highest scoring Finnish player in league history. Selanne would finish the season with 48 points in 54 games, while the Ducks would fail to make the playoffs. 2010-11 saw Selanne score his 1,300th career point, accomplishing this with a 2-goal performance against the Edmonton Oilers on January 16, 2011. He finished the season with a team-leading 80 points in 73 games, and his 80 points was the third highest by a player over the age of 40, being in company of one Gordie Howe and Johnny Busick, who are two names I guarantee you we will be talking about when we get there. Ducks got back to the playoffs, but were out in the first round. Selanne put up 7 points in 6 games. 2011-2012 season saw Selanne play a full 82-game schedule for the last time in his career, which made him the oldest player in NHL history to play a full schedule. What was also a neat thing to happen in this season was his return to Winnipeg, as the Atlanta Thrashers have been sold and relocated as the newest incarnation of the Winnipeg Jets. I don't need to show you the logo this time. I think we're familiar with them. Despite all this, his return was definite thing of note, as the Jets fans, original and new, still viewed Selanne as a local hero and cheered him on every time he hit the ice. Never mind touch the puck, hit the ice, while booing all other Ducks players. He's also named to the Western Conference All-Star Game. However, he petitioned for the league to send teammate Corey Perry instead, which the league did. In all 82 games, Selanne once again leads the team in scoring with 66 points. The Ducks failed to make the playoffs, however, for at least the last time in Selanne's career with them. And then we had a lockout. And the NHL did resume play in January of 2013, thankfully. There was more than just me that was worried it was going to turn into another big one. And Selanne did come back for the Ducks, playing in 46 games and putting up 24 points, while putting up 3 points in 7 playoff games. So before the 2013-14 season began, Selanne did announce that this season, the 21st in his career, would be his last. He managed to play in 64 games for the Ducks, missing 18 due to injury in his final regular season game in a 3-2 win over Colorado. Selanne was given the captaincy, something he hadn't put on any jersey of his since he was a Mighty Duck, and receiving a standing ovation for every shift he took. Selanne was named the game's first, second, and third star, and afterwards took a lap around the ring with former Cup-winning teammate John Sebastian Jaguar, who was also contemplating retirement at the time. Selanne would finish his last regular season campaign with 27 points. And for his last playoff run, Selanne scored 6 points in 12 games, with his last game played on May 16, 2014, against cross-state rivals the LA Kings. Selanne was saluted by everyone in attendance, fans, teammates, and the Kings themselves. He took his last official lap around the rink. And with that, we've reached the end of Selanne's career with the Ducks, at least as far as playing terms is concerned. Let's go over some stats and accomplishments here. In 966 games with the Ducks, scored 457 goals, 531 assists for 988 points. And in 96 playoff games, that's 28 goals, 31 assists, and 59 points. First team All-Star in 97, second team All-Star in 98 and 99, and represented Anaheim in 5 different All-Star games. Would have been 6 if he decided to go ahead with 2012, but is what it is. He's the All-Star Game MVP in 98. He was the inaugural winner of the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy in 1999 and won the Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy in 2006 to go along with the Stanley Cup in 2007. He has the franchise record for goals in a career, goals in a season, assists in a career, points in a season, and he's also scored Anaheim's first ever playoff goal. He also has the franchise record for power play goals, power play assists, power play points, most games played, most career hat tricks, assists in a single game with 5, which he did 3 times. And he retired at the time with the most career points, which has since been broken. So a nice little list of team records that he still does have. He is named one of the NHL's greatest NHL players during the NHL's centennial season. He was elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2017. On January 11th, 2015, he became the first Anaheim Duck to have his jersey number retired. And that is the story of the number 8. So my own personal opinion of the guy. Having him seen play in person and live a few times, he had amazing hands. His skill set was out of this world. I can tell you from firsthand experience, like, he did things and he made plays happen that you're always double taking, even when it was the simplest of plays. If Selanne was involved in it, it was either really pretty or it made the other team look really bad. But like I said, solid hands. A goal scorer is a goal scorer. Like, I don't know what other cliche you want me to add here, so add your own. He's that good. And the fact that he was Finnish made it even better. Because you got to remember, he came in at a time when there really wasn't a lot of foreign players around at the time. The ones that were there had only been there a few years. So seeing someone like Selanne come in and light it up the way he did, it's a thing of beauty. So there's another one, Trevs Hockey Shows. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you're here. Works out great for both of us. So let's keep the party going, right? Give me a thumbs up. While you're at it, that red button, if you haven't hit it already, that says subscribe all over it, hit that thing. Stay up to date with all the content I'm putting up. And subscribe makes you feel good. So there's that. We're on the way to 250. Let's get there. Social in the description down below. Moving forward, as far as retired numbers is concerned, if I can throw one more in before Nash, I'll do that. As far as what's next, I've got 2 more scripts sitting in front of me. I'm not sure which one I'm going to tackle next, but either way, in the meantime, and in between time, be looking for more videos from the Trev. Later.